Hello! So, you guys seem to be gelling with what I'm talking about, my history with publishing and trying to get published. Please ignore the fluffy beard. We're going through a growing out phase, and I've just got to tolerate this until it gets a bit longer at the sides. So, hi! Like, sub, do the usual. I run this channel and another channel called The Bald Book Geek, and you're welcome to Bald Book Geek's media criticism, so you're welcome to head over there if you want, but if you're not interested, that's fine. Publishing. Publishing. Let's talk about it. At some point, around 2017, 2018, I signed to an internet writer I'm a fan of, independent, started his own publishing house, and he was looking for talent, and he really liked, I sent him Chosen. And Chosen is an urban fantasy series that I wrote that kind of, I'm not going to go into it because we'll be here for a week, but the whole thing short, he was very interested in this sort of contemporary urban fantasy thing because everyone on his books was fantasy, and science fiction. So I was like, yay, there was editors, there was people, and everything was going well. And that's when everything started drying up. He said, it'll take a few months, but we'll get you out there and you can promote with us and things like that. 6 months rolled by, nothing happened. The deadline was gone. And I was like, oh yeah, we're just pushing things back. We've got a lot of people on the books. And after that, I just kept rolling and seeing where things go and how they're going and what they're doing. And, you start questioning things. You start wondering what the hell is going on. There was a lot of deaf ears. It wasn't him that was really running the publishing, I will say. It was someone else. And I, being a little bit maybe naive, I made the decision to just smile and keep going and keep working and doing all of this stuff. Nothing ever truly came of it. And I kept getting, the standard email reply, yeah, your book's coming out, it'll be fine, you'll be good. Well, it didn't, and we hit a year and I was still falling on, and I kind of ended up emailing the writer directly, and I may have shot myself in the foot here, but I did ask the question, why is my book not happening after I was told this date, an endless list of dates? He could never quite give me a real answer, and it was kind of it was frustrating because you're working on this project, you're doing this stuff, nothing ever came of it, and you kind of sit there like, why am I here? That was the big question that happened, and there was a lot of, I'm working, so please forgive the fact that I'm not looking at the camera. There was a lot of stuff that went down, and there was a lot of just conversations of things not going anywhere, of people not doing anything, and people not getting back to me, and I felt very ghosted by the people involved. And you kind of sit there and smile, and there was more dates that never happened, more stuff that never went down, and then it was, well, a year and a half, I should say, after the last one, and I think that we had about 10 different dates for this book, and it hit a point where I just said, I emailed the department, not him directly, and said, look, I know you guys have a lot on, but I keep getting dates, other people's books are coming out. Why are you, I said, if my book's not out by this date, I'm done. When it hit the date, there was no communication back, and I just said, I'm pulling my rights back from my book, from you, since it's never coming out, and thank you for your time, and goodbye. I received one reply with a, oh, we're sorry you feel that way kind of vibe, and that was it. And I never knew what happened there. I never understood why it kept taking so long just to create, everything was good to go, and there was cover art, there was all of this stuff. And I don't know if I just shot myself in the foot with this one or anything else. That's the question I have. Did I shoot myself in the foot with this deal? I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was meant to do. I don't know if it was just my own fault. I do question it. It was just getting really frustrating that my book wasn't coming and wasn't becoming anything, and you do kind of sit there like, I felt kind of forgotten, and I found out later for other people I wasn't the only one there was a person that was with them for 2.5 years and they never actually got anything published in the end. But a lot of people just quit out, and I just remember that feeling of like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And felt it was disheartening, and I felt very ghosted. I do think some of it, and this is not an excuse, but I do think some of it was to do with the fact they had so many people on their books. Excuse the pun, but they did. They had a lot of people that were trying to get published, and I think they kind of overstretched themselves, but I do wonder if I shot myself in the foot with that. That is the question I will probably always have, and it just felt like I was wasting my time in the end, because, you know, nothing came out. There was never a release. There was constant dates. I even turned down something because of them in the early days. That's the best word for it. It was frustrating. So I do wonder, did I shoot myself in the foot with that one, or was I right to leave? Because you can't help but wonder these, because you do. It's the nature of this. It's the nature of how we function, I suppose, as creative brain. But you keep treading over everything that happened. What do you guys think? Was I right to do that? Was I an idiot? Was it a good thing I got out of it? Tell me in the comments below. Anyway, I'll leave this one here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.